Brandon from Donuts. Again, thank you for joining us this afternoon, and thank you for signing up for this webinar course entitled LinkedIn to Profitability. I'm going to be your coach, guide, teacher, colleague, however you want to describe me for the next 4 weeks. And while we go through this journey of LinkedIn to profitability. Really, the goal for today is that we're going to go over the basics, the overview of today and the rest of the courses moving forward, so everyone has a good idea of how everything works. Before we do that, we are going to, I'm going to actually, if you guys have any troubles or any questions, first of all, make sure that you post the questions down in your little box here. Raise your hands. There's a chat section too where you can feel free to chat with each other. If for whatever reason I'm using a new microphone, so if you cannot tell if you're having trouble, if I'm too loud, please let me know. I'll make sure that we work out these kinks now so the rest of the session is not a problem. So I'm going to actually lower the microphone level just a little bit, so everybody, because it's telling me that it's a little bit loud, and I'm assuming that is the case. So I hope everyone's having a great day so far. I'm going to lower this here. All right, that should be better. Great. All right, so let's get back into it. Everyone can see LinkedIn to Profitability. Again, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Any questions, post in the question box with the GoToWebinar, or put in the chat. You can chat with each other as well. I highly recommend that because that's part of what we're going to talk about and go through. This is networking and collaborating with other people, and most of you are like-minded individuals, so and wonderful people too. So I highly suggest, even outside of this webinar course, if you guys want to, start a conversation via email, calls, whatever the case may be. I can provide those information if you want an introduction to anybody. So anyway, moving on, we're kind of tight in time. The overview of the course today, or for the overview of the course, is for the entire course. You will learn the following areas in LinkedIn: setting up a strategy for success and results, and that is what we're going to talk about for the majority of today. The second part is optimizing your personal profile, which is going to be part of what we discussed today as well, and company page to be found by your prospects. So that'll be moving on. How to find your best clients by using different areas of LinkedIn and generate new business from that. How to be more searchable for your clients, customers throughout LinkedIn. The other question a lot of times that I have found, and I think it's a great topic to talk about, is a free account or a paid account better for me? Because a lot of what we're going to do and what we discuss in these tactics and the strategies, there are some advantages, a lot of advantages actually to having a paid account, but you can still get away with having a free account. So we're going to discuss all that as part of one of our sessions. And then the last one, how do I track my activities and measure my success? That's always the key in any type of marketing or sales. You need to track your activities. So we're going to move on here. The next slide here, looks like we have a question. Yes, what we're going to do, and that's a good question actually, Bob asked the question, will the slides be available later? Yes, what we will do is actually I will provide you guys, I will email you guys the slides by tomorrow, along with, this is actually being recorded right now. So what we're going to do, and I failed to do that, so thanks for reminding me, Bob. We're going to record this, and this is going to be uploaded to our website, which is going to be an exclusive page that you need to get in by having a password. Everyone who has signed up and paid, aka you guys, you will have access to that for the length of the course, including a month after. So if for whatever reason Obviously, we want you to join when we're actually live, but for whatever reason, if you're not able to attend or you can only make it for half or whatever the case might be, you will have access to that recording the next day for the remaining amount of time of the course and a month later. And so also, if you're there every single day and you just want to refresh or going through all this stuff, a month later you're doing the activities, you want to see if you're still doing it the right way, you can go back and access that on your free will. So, Bob, I hope that answers your question. If you have any more, again, do not hesitate to ask it. Thank you again. So moving on, let's jump into the overview. The schedule for this course is that first session today, obviously from 12 to 1. That will be the case for the next Tuesday. For every Tuesday following today up until August 23rd, that will be our last actual session. Today's session will be on strategy and personal profile optimization. Next week, it's going to be company page optimization and lead generation. Third is lead generation and branding. And fourth will be free, first paid, and tracking. The profile optimization, we're going to touch on majority of it today. There will be some for you to go over next week, but we'll make sure that everything is covered. So moving on to the next one. Today's class, again, is the background on LinkedIn. We're going to touch on that very briefly. I'm sure most of you know about it, but it just helps to give you kind of emphasis on how to use LinkedIn. And it goes into setting up the strategy for LinkedIn as well. So we're going to go over that and then begin to optimize your profile, and there will be some homework. Because a lot of the stuff will not be able to be taken care of while we have our time together. So you will have to make a small commitment. If you're willing to get this up and rolling on the right way, you will have to make sure you do a little homework between today and next week. So a little background of LinkedIn, as you'll see here. As most of you probably know, as of March of 2011, LinkedIn has over 1 million registered users. There's about, I'm sure by the end of the year, there'll probably be 150 million users. A user joins LinkedIn every second of the day. So when we get into other aspects, just keep that in mind because things change rapidly on LinkedIn. That's part of why you have to stay on top of it. The great thing about LinkedIn is that the average user is about 41 years old. It has reduced since about 6 months ago when it was 44 years old. The average user makes about $100,000. 50% of the people on the registered users are business decision makers and of their companies. And over 14 million of the registered users are small business people. However, every executive from all Fortune 500 companies since 2010 are members, and a lot of them use actually to hire people, but they are members on there. They're accessible and you can get to them. That's the great thing about this, and that's why actually prospecting through LinkedIn is about a 40% increase from a cold call. Cold call can be as cold as possible. LinkedIn, when you send messages, when you do it the right way, it actually will enhance it about 40%. It won't be the warmest of warm leads. However, it's much better than calling people and not getting a phone call back, or calling people and them hanging up on you. And if you've ever done cold calls, which I'm sure most of you have, it can be very entertaining, but it's also a big headache. And obviously, if you can get better results from something that takes either the same amount of time or less, that's basically why you're here today. So we're going to show you how to do everything. Moving forward, areas of focus on LinkedIn in which we are going to actually focus in on is going to be on the business development side, which plays into lead generation and networking. Not a lot of people take advantage of the lead generation or the networking side of LinkedIn. They do keep it as far as a good way of keeping their network online, which is a great idea. However, there's so much more to be taken advantage of that no one does enough of. So we're going to show you how to do everything. So we're going to jump into this right now. And what we're going to start with is setting up your strategy. And what I recommend for you to do is take out a piece of paper and a pen or pencil and start to write some of these down. Now, you're not going to have you're going to want to establish this and write this into a Word document and save it, and so you're going to need more time than just an hour to elaborate on everything. However, start to kind of think of things, jot down some notes. I highly recommend it's going to be the most effective way of doing everything. So starting with your strategy, the first part of setting up your strategy, and it's very simple when you're doing it for LinkedIn, but you have to start, basics. What are my goals? Some goals in which people can think about is 1 new client in 3 months. Make sure your goals are realistic and achievable. They're not, obviously you want to shoot for the stars and settle for the moon. However, you want to make sure that they're realistic. I'm not a business coach, but there are actually a couple of people who do that, so they can talk to you a little bit more about the goals. But you do need to set goals for setting up your strategy. Second part, second idea could be increase your website traffic by 50% in 3 months. 3 months is usually a good beginning as far as measurements and goals. 3 months to 6 months is usually what I tell people if you're expecting things to happen overnight or even in a month.
Interest in LinkedIn to Profitability, the webinar course presented by Donuts Inc. Now that you've kind of seen some of what Donuts is all about and what LinkedIn, more so what LinkedIn to Profitability is really all about, and you continue to see these slides move on, the course is really here to help you grow your business and to use LinkedIn effectively and more so profitably. And so what we offer is a 4-week course, 1 hour each week on Tuesdays from 12 to 1 p.m. Central Time. The courses are recorded, so if you need to go back and get them, then you can. The people in your course all share the same interests, and so you can always network with them as well. It's a very reasonable cost for everything. So we highly suggest that if you're interested, sign up. You can go to our website, www.donuts.com, and on the homepage you'll see the next webinar starting September 13th. There'll be a 4-week course moving into the month of October. By the end of it, you'll be ready to rock and roll and be prospecting effectively and efficiently and growing your business using LinkedIn the best way you can. If you have any questions, contact Brandon Lewin directly of Donuts. You can email him at blewin, Lewin, at donuts, DOUGHNUTTZ.com, or call him at 773-661-5332. Again, we highly recommend that you go to the website and sign up for the course. Go to the fan page for Donuts on Facebook, facebook.com/donuts, DOUGHNUTTZ. There you'll be able to get codes for half off, potentially, if not more, or even enter a chance to win the webinar course for free. And then you'll get plenty of great information, tips on LinkedIn, social media marketing in general, and news relating around those subjects. So thank you again for the interest in this, and we hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.